Hello everybody and welcome to my presentation on servo motors for robotics 211, and this is the assignment that we had to do for servos. So I did this in Arduino. I'm a little bit rusty with the AVR stuff at the moment with servos, but I'm going to research that tonight, and if I can, I will upload a new video tomorrow doing this exact same thing in AVR. But for the time being, I wanted to get this assignment in, so I did it in Arduino. Actually, it was pretty easy, straightforward. So we're going to get into the nuts and bolts right now. First thing I do, include the servo.header file. That is brilliant code for making servos easy in using Arduino and microcontrollers. So doing that, I make a servo called my servo. I have an integer called low button and I attach it to pin 7. I have another integer called high button and I attach it to pin 8. Well, that's what's going to happen. Then I have an integer called position and I set that to 0. Now on the setup, we attach my servo to pin 9. I have the low at 350, which is about as low as it can go, and then I have the high to 2300. And well, we're going to actually set this to 350. I started off with 600, but on the low position, it was off. It wasn't registering at 0. It was a little off. It still is, but 350 is about the lowest I can go without the servo stop working. You know, these servos are a little bit on the cheap side, so they're not all that accurate, but it still works. So it works pretty good. So I have 2 pin modes, one for the low button, one for the high button, and I initialize them as inputs, and I use the internal pull-up resistors to bring them to a high state. I do that because when we detect the button presses, if the button's going to low state, then it's going to do something. It's basically going to start the servo either going forward or reverse. So in the loop, I set the servo right, I set it to 90 degrees, which is right in the middle position. Then I say if the low button equals low, we digital read low button equals low, then we set the position to 0, and as long as the position is less than 90, we're going to increment it by 1. Then we write that to the servo, to my servo in the right position. We delay 15 milliseconds. So what happens with this is once you press this button, it goes to the 0 position. So it moves, you know, to the 0 position and then climbs back up to 90. Now, if the high button is low, it does just the opposite. It'll go to the 180 position and then climb down to 90. So what you have effectively is 2 buttons, a low button and a high button. If you press the low button, it's going to go to 0 and then climb up to 90, which is the start position. So what it's going to do basically is going to move to the left or to the right, whichever way it's facing, and then it's going to climb to the middle position. And then the high button is going to do just the opposite. It's going to take that and go to the high position and then climb back down to the 90 position. And then it's just going to keep looping. So it's pretty easy, but it does fulfill the requirements for the class or for the assignment. So without further ado, I will show you the video portion of it. And guys, if you like what you see, or professor, if you like what you see, give me an A because I can use it. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Hey everybody. Okay, so here's my circuit. I have a servo that is hooked up to an Atmel ATM Mega 328P, and I have written some code so that when you press a button, it will either go to the start position 0 and then go to the middle, or it will go to the end position, which is 180, and then go to the middle, which is 90. So without further ado, I'm going to test this out. Okay, I'm going to press the first button, and as you see, the servo goes to 0, and then goes to 90. If I press the other button, it does just the opposite. It goes to 180 and then goes back to 90. So that's my circuit. And I am running the servo off of a 5-volt power source that I made myself. It's actually a old power supply for a computer. So we run power, 5 volts power to that, and then I run ground and 5 volt or power from the Arduino, which is 5 volts, to the buttons. And again, we'll just show it again. Works pretty cool. Anyway, thanks guys, I appreciate it. And so if I had to do this in Arduino because the AVR code, I got to brush up on it. So if I can get to it, I will do it in AVR and re-upload the code. But for now, this is my stuff in Arduino. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.